Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You know, the Matrix you are. The Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger. Daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $93,666.66. We've had a very green day on the backs of the Venezuela news is the big thing. Of course, you know, I don't know what I can and can't say, but President Trump invaded or bombed Venezuela, captured the president, overthrew the government and the wife. And the interesting thing is, like, out of all the terrible news that could have happened, this is not what I had on my bingo card that was going to cause the markets to pump. Now, we've talked a lot about this as what I believe to be the selling climax in Wyckoff accumulation. November 20th, we can see the highest volume day recorded in over 13 months. We've officially put in a higher high. Now this is a bit of resistance, and ultimately the next thing is going to be testing the 100 moving average, which is sitting at right about $100,000. That's going to be a massive psychological level. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen. But the big thing is, after 65 consecutive days, you can see yesterday we were in extreme fear of 26. 65 consecutive days, we have finally broken the longest streak in history of being in extreme fear under 30 for 65 consecutive days. That has never happened in the history of ever. While that metric has been recorded for Bitcoin, 65 consecutive days, we are no longer in extreme fear. We're just in regular fear now, guys. We did it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. We did it. We're just in fear now. We're not in extreme fear anymore. We're going to talk about that. Same thing, 49. It's almost neutral for crypto coin market cap. Well, let's talk about the charts and the TA, what I think this means, where I think that we're going to go. A bit of accumulation, so longer than actually what we've had over here, too, by the way, from February until we broke out of there. Actually, the breakout day was 53 days from the selling climax to the breakout over here. And right now, we are chilling at 48 days. I've talked a lot about January 7th. I believe is going to be the sort of pivot. It doesn't mean new all-time high, but we are well past a point where we have had any sort of relief, any sort of rally at all. So the big thing, though, the Russell, you know, I've talked a lot about this, and comically, at a comical level, this has been following the 2021 crash perfectly, candle for candle. The C19 crash, candle for candle, has followed this. This is the C19 crash that I have, the fractal from C19 into the breakout. And of course, it was until after the breakout into price discovery, into distribution, that's when things really heated up. The first thing that happened, August of 2020, let's recap it. Let's take a little time machine. August of 2020, gold went parabolic and topped out. And then after August of 2020, the Russell, you can see that was pretty much the low. Here's September. After that, the Russell starts breaking out into price discovery. Have we broke out into price discovery yet? No, we have not. We're seeing pretty much an alt season in the precious metals, right? We've talked a lot about this. I said I believe that this is the buying climax. I think that we're going to get distribution. This looks to be our upthrust. We may even get a UTAD into 4,700. All that's possible. But look, this is basically the exact same price from back in October. And then when we overlay that with silver, what do we see? The buying climax was over here. Hold on. On the top is gold, and on the bottom is silver. This is the same date. The buying climax, silver was $54. Gold was basically the same price it is today. Literally the same price it is today. Over here, the UT, guess what? Silver got as high as $83. Now, again, I don't believe that silver is some meme coin. I don't believe it's going to give us some pin blow off top action. I don't think that that's going to happen. However, I have taken profit on my silver. I have sold 70% of my silver at the price of $78. And we look in the past, that is what happened. It was a pin blow off top. That's not what I'm predicting. However, I do believe silver is going to distribute and slowly make its way back to about $50 before in 2028/2029. I do believe silver is going to go north of $200 in 2028/2029. But I believe that the end is near, and I believe that the Russell is going to break out. We're going to see rotation of capital from the precious metals into the Russell, into cryptocurrency. I don't think that this is going to be, a lot of people are calling for October of 2026. I do not think it's going to take that long. In my opinion, one of two things are true. Either A, this is the shortest bear market in history, or B, altcoins have been in a bear market this entire time, and it is almost over. Happy New Year, Ski, my brother. Happy New Year to you as well. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting the share, so other people can spam that like button and hit the share. When we look on Bitcoin, though, on the 5-hour chart, this is the first time we've been above the 200 moving average on the 5-hour chart since October. We have not been above the 200 moving average since October. Not only is this a clean break above, but this is almost completely bullish. Okay? Probably this week, the yellow is going to flip the 200, and probably in the next 2 weeks, the light blue will flip the 200 as well, putting us in the most bullish posture. Now, I will say, we are pretty hot. We got as high as 85. That's pretty hot. You could easily get into the 90s. So it would not be weird for Bitcoin to, we put in a higher high officially with higher lows, 2 higher lows and a higher high at this point, 2 higher highs technically. Wouldn't be weird to backtest the 200 before breaking above. That would not be weird to do. We're getting pretty hot at this point. But I like the formation. I like the structure of what we're seeing, especially considering precious metals, especially considering the Russell 2000, which to me not only is the key, it's the entire puzzle. And I've talked a lot about this. Same thing for Ethereum. Ethereum looking really, really strong. We're, again, above the 200 moving average over here. All of the... we're about to get our second cross above, and we only need one more to flip this fully bullish for Ethereum. We have not been in that posture since the last time we flipped was over here back in June. That was the last time that we flipped bullish, was back in June. The last flip was actually in July. And then from that, from the July flip, fully bullish on the 5-hour, Ethereum went on to do a 70% run. But the pre-flip, which is kind of where we're at right now, that whole range from the time that it flipped went on to do much, much more, because it got all the way down to 2100, but the base was 2500. That was a 94% move. So I'm expecting something sort of similar. It doesn't mean that we're going to put in a new all-time high, but I like the formation. I like the structure. It's about the same amount of time of all the other times we've accumulated. This was 60 days over here, and we're sitting at about 48 days for Ethereum. And then the same thing over here. This accumulation period, if you count this, was about 58 days. So getting pretty close on time to the amount of accumulation that is needed before you get a reversal of sorts. Now, I'm not necessarily calling for a new all-time high for Ethereum, but I just think that we are beyond due for a rally. Beyond due. Well beyond due. In fact, I've been talking about that since probably November. But really, when you zoom out and look on the macro, on the daily chart, in all honesty, the only thing that's happened is higher high, higher low, higher low. That's it. This is the same sort of formation that silver had before it broke out. Why am I talking about that? Because it's Wyckoff is Wyckoff. It doesn't matter if it's silver, a meme coin, Ethereum. It does not matter. It is all the same. It is all the same, ladies and gentlemen. It is all the same. It is all the same. Now, I want you to sit here and tell me with a straight face that this isn't the same setup here. It's all the same. So there you go. That is my thoughts. Let's put this on the 3-day. Look at that. It's all the same. We've seen this 100 times. Leroy Jenkins. What is up, guys? Just regular fear. What up, Ski? Been so long. We need new cat bets to get past this. I got you, bro. 50K. I have a bet. I'll shave my beard. 50K. We're not going to 50K. It's not happening. Not before a new all-time high. Leroy Jenkins. What about VeChain, bro? Where's the bottom? Am I cooked? I was buying with everything late September, early October. I think VeChain has just filled that wick out. That's what I think VeChain has done. A lot of altcoins have done that too, by the way. Where's VeChain? A lot of altcoins have done that same thing. Where we had the 1010 big giant wick, and a lot of them filled that out. VeChain has done the exact same thing, and guess what? Look at this on the daily chart. This is the 3-day chart. Let's look on the daily chart. Look at this. Big, giant 1010 wick. We grueled our way to fill it out, and then boom, violent support off of that. Look at all this volume. This is the highest volume since the big breakout over here. That's how you know this is a real move. When you see huge amounts of volume, that tells you that it's a real move. So I like this. I like that we have grueled our way, filled out this wick. Obviously, we have to get above the 200 here, 1.9 cents. We got to reclaim all of this. So it's not going to be a straight line. It's not like, it's just off the Valhalla. But I like the formation here. We have really good. We're above the 200 moving average on the 5-hour chart. First time that we've been above it since, realistically, we haven't been above the 200 structurally like this since November of 2024. That's how long it's been since we've been structurally above the 200 moving average on the 5-hour chart. So potentially flipping bullish. Again, still got some work to do. I really just want to see at least some sideways action or continuation of this uptrend here, but looking very strong. And I do love the fact that we found support where this wick was. That's a beautiful thing. That's pretty textbook. That is textbook of your selling climax right here. That's a lot of volume that you can see. Look at this volume. That's a huge volume candle. And then you fill it out with less volume, same price as a secondary test. That's a bullish divergence. Look at the volume is going down, but the price is going lower. That's a bullish divergence. You see price going down, Same price here. Look at the volume difference. That's a bullish divergence. Pull back to 91K and then continue up. I think that that's super plausible. Bear market minimum for Solnic upcoming run. Solnic put in a higher high. I think Solnic did the same thing. Solnic filled out the wick from November. I have been buying Solnic every week. You can buy Solnic on Coinbase now. You can literally search Solnic on Coinbase and the base Solnic will come up because we're on base and we're on. Look at that. That's a higher high and a higher low. Same thing. We filled out the wick from over here back in November. Same exact thing. Volume was extremely high. This is a bullish divergence. Look at the volume here. Volume high. Price going lower. Volume is lower. Price is lower. Volume is lower. That is a bullish divergence. Now, the moving averages are a little wonky because we had the huge $8.88 price. So it's a little wonky with the moving averages. But you can go down to, I think, the 1 hour. And you can see we are now above the 200. All of the moving averages are sloping up. And we have put in a higher high. Come on now. This has been resistance. This is accumulation. Bullish divergences. 100K incoming. Yeah, I think so. The past summer, you were calling for all-time highs by the end of year. Yes, and I shaved my beard. I was wrong. And I was accountable, and I shaved my beard. Does that discredit all the times I was right? Did I account for Binance scamming everyone? And depegging all of their oracles so no one could sell or buy? Did I account for that? No, I did not. Is the structure still there? Yes, it is. Was I accountable anyways? Yes, I was. Said, dude, alts topped a year ago. We're a year into the bear market. Okay, how long does the bear market last, bro? A year. How long does it last? Okay, I'll buy that for $1. If you want to tell me November of 2024 was the top of altcoins, okay, sure, bro. I'll buy that for $1. I'll buy that for $1. You want to tell me that's a year? Okay, sure. I'll buy that for $1. How long did it take until we bottomed? A year? Okay, bro. Like, I'll buy. If you want to tell me November of 2024 was the top, I'll buy that for $1. How long are we into it? A year? Okay, bro. Like, what are we arguing about here? What are we arguing about here? He's a man of his word. I am that. Listen, I stand by my reputation. I stand by my track record. Good and bad. Right and wrong. I haven't gotten everything right, but I'm accountable when I get it wrong. Solnic is a good DCA right now. Solnic's the best DCA right now. What is Leroy Jenkins? It's a meme. I need all the reassurance. The Binance glitch was a black swan, and you always said that if a black swan event happens, then predictions could change. I still think that the structure is there. It's just taking longer than I've anticipated. Obviously, I was clearly wrong about my timing, but the structure is there. Like how long have I talked about silver? Like, as an example. Like, go back and look at some of my streams when someone asked me about silver, because it doesn't happen a lot. But from time to time, people would ask me about the silver chart, and I would bring it up. And I would say that this is the same structure that we're talking about. Like, I have video evidence of me talking about silver here. Or not even, like, here. Go back in 2023, June, November of 2024, and me talking about silver. Like, the structure is there. A lot of the altcoins look like this right now. This is a structure of a pre-breakout structure. This is like, screw silver. It doesn't matter about silver. Look at the structure. I think that the structure is still there. Has it taken longer than I anticipated? Yes. Did I predict that Binance was going to scam everyone? No, I didn't. But here's the order of operations. Precious metals peaks in August of 2020. So precious metals go first. Then the Russell breaks out. The Russell is literally candle for candle following what it did in 2021. Or excuse me, in 2020, pre-breakout. Same structure. Literally, candle for candle is following right here. This is the C19 crash and then the breakout. This little box right here, that's when things went euphoric. What happened first, though? I have it circled. Gold tops. Gold tops in August of 20. By November of 20, the Russell puts in a new all-time high. Bitcoin has a run here, but this is when alts went crazy. Okay, well, let's look. What are we doing here? I don't know. Following literally perfectly. And what is precious metals doing? Price discovery, full euphoria. Like, I understand it didn't happen on the exact hour that I thought it would happen, but the structure and the setup is there. I don't know how long it's going to take. But, like, my God, we're finding support when we should have found support. Like, look at this. We put in a higher high, just like we put in a higher high, back tested the prior range, and if this continues to hold by mid-January, the Russell is going to be at an all-time high. If by mid-January the Russell's at an all-time high, well, here's what's next is price discovery, and then, if I were to play it all the way out, distribution. This is when the altcoins went crazy. Bitcoin went crazy during this time. So, listen, the setup is there. Is it taking longer? Last time silver didn't go into price discovery. This time it is. I'm fine with that. Guess what? If you've been following me, you know I stack silver. I love silver. So is my crypto portfolio down? Yes, in 2025. Overall, no, it's not. My average price is $5,000. My average past bear market price was $25,000. My average price on XRP, 30 cents. Is it down in 2025? Yes, it is. From the all-time highs, yes. Is my overall portfolio down because I stack silver and crypto every single week? No, it's not. Have I been able to rotate from precious metals into cash / back into crypto? Yes, that's exactly what I did. I sold 40% of my gold at $4,400. I sold 70% of my silver at $78. There's a chance that silver goes to $107. It's on the board. I'm okay with that because I think it's going to go back to 50, and then I think it's going to go to 200 in 2028. That's what I think is going to happen. But I think that the next thing is going to happen is the same thing that happened last time was precious metals rotated into the Russell, which rotated into cryptocurrency. You always win. I don't always win. You always hate. I don't always win. I just said I'm down tremendous on crypto in 2025. I just talked about the last time that I lost 20 grand. You always hate. I don't always win. But I have a solid strategy and I have a solid track record. I get things wrong. I got my timing wrong. Can you pull fibs on the Russell? Ski been too long for a stream. Yeah. I took a couple weeks off. People were starting to get real nasty, and it was the holidays. People are already nasty. It was the holidays, Christmas, my son's birthday, New Year's. I took a couple weeks off from live streaming, and I feel good. I feel rejuvenated, rejoiced. Ready to deal with the nonsense, ready to deal with the haters. Who refuse to give me my flowers. That's okay. Price target on silver. I know you said 75. 78 was my target. That's where I sold. I sold 70% of my silver at $78. Now, I think that silver could possibly go to 107. I still have 30% if that happens. I don't see a world where we go straight to $200, although I think in 2028 it will go to $200. This is what I think is going to happen for silver. And listen, here's like the macro game, by the way. Here's the macro game. The bottom's in for Solnick, period. We've been accumulating at the November price. We've been at the same price, plus or minus, since November. We just put in a higher high and a higher low. The bottom's in for Solnick, period. But here's the macro game. Take notes. It goes from precious metals to stocks, the Russell, to crypto. And it just keeps looping. If silver's up, crypto is down. If precious metals are up, crypto's down. If crypto's up, precious metals are down. They are inverse to one another. The Shemitah. Yeah. The Shemitah is when silver's going to go crazy right before that. And then everything's going to crash. Will you be buying back if it dips? Are you talking about silver? I will be buying back around $50. But I think that crypto's going to have a nice rally between then. Solnick price target, coming run. Same targets. 10 cents, $1, $5.89. We already hit $8.88. We just need to fill that wick out now. Literally, Solnick hit $8.88. You can see it on TradingView. It happened. It's time to fill that wick out. Any good leverage trades to get into? I've been trading Ethereum. And I think the best thing to do is just stick with one or two coins, honestly. Like, I do way better when I do that. I get into trouble when I start switching. Even, like, I was killing it just trading Ethereum, and then I started trading Solana, and I lost a few trades in a row. And I was like, this is why I don't trade Solana. And I went back to Ethereum. So I think it's best to just pick a coin and just trade that. I've been holding Solana almost 2 years. Me too, bro. Me too. Stick to one or two. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. I get into trouble when I start doing a bunch of different coins. It's not the meta, it's not the move for sure. The best thing is to pick one coin, pick 2 coins, and just trade that coin again and again and again. That is the best thing to do. Solana to $8 would be life changing. It'll happen sooner or later. This bull market or the next. Sooner or later, this bull market or the next. Bitcoin dominance is continuing to look super weak, by the way. Flirting with putting in another macro lower low. I've talked about it, guys. Like, all right, so like to get personal, Ski, what's the best leverage trade exchange in Ohio? I think the best thing, Butch, is BitUnex. I have a link in my bio that you could use if you want to support my work, but you don't need a VPN. I think they're, and you don't, it's not, there's no KYC and you don't need a VPN. I think they're pretty solid. Ski, I'm up 70% on Pepe. Got in last week. Let's go. Okay. So here, personal life, and to relate it to Solnic, things have kind of pulled my attention away specifically with my house, with the farm, trying to move my family to the house, to the farm. The plan was to sell my house and then take the money and then buy a house and be done with it, and move my family to the farm. However, the housing market is very cold, and so we've taken the market off. We've taken the house off of the market at this point because we did not sell. But luckily, this will be my second tax return, or my second tax season. And if you want to buy a house, you have to have 2 tax returns if you're self-employed. So this will be my second one. I'm going to be getting that done. We should be moved out to the farm around July. And once I'm out to the farm, 50% of whatever I make, I am buying into Solnic until a new all-time high. Right now, I'm doing 20% of all that I earn. I'm buying into Solnic. When we move to the farm, it will be 50% of all that I earn I will buy Solnic until we reach a new all-time high. Can you look at VeChain? I just looked at VeChain. I like VeChain structure a lot. I like this a lot. All we have done basically is filled out this wick from 1010. We've grueled our way down and filled this out and found it as support. That is a beautiful setup. And then when you look at the volume, look at how high the volume was over here on 1010. The volume is less as the price continues to go down. The volume is less. That is what is called a bullish divergence. And we are above the 200 moving average on the 5-hour chart for the first time since back in November of 2024. VeChain looks very solid. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It has some work to do. There's going to be resistance here getting back at 2 cents. There's going to be a couple of battles for sure. However, I like what I'm seeing. I like a lot what I'm seeing. Have any targets changed? No targets have changed, just the timeline. No targets have changed, just the timeline. Same thing. Like, how long have you guys followed me? Look at any video from 2022, 2023. Any time anyone asked me about silver, I said $78. Now, what I said was, it could take a decade to play out. I said that, if I said that once, I said it 1,000 times. $78, it could take a decade to play out. Here we are, $78. Today, right now, we're at $77. It didn't take a decade to play out, but here we are. That was my plan at $20. My plan was to sell at $78. That's what I did. I stuck to my plan. Can we go to $107? Yes, we can. It certainly could happen. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with missing out on another, what is that, 30%? 37%. I'm okay with that because I think that there's going to be better opportunities. I think the top will be the distribution of the Russell. I don't know how long that's going to take to play out. Truthfully. Why do you think others had a bear market yearly candle for 2025? Bitcoin did too. What time frame are you looking at ETH all-time high? I think it's going to be in 2026. We'll see. The thing is, like, here's the deal. In order to get a violent bear market, you must have a violent bull market. Ethereum did not have a violent bull market. Okay? It did not. It barely made a new all-time high. It barely made a new all-time high. This is not price discovery. Ethereum never went into price discovery. And check it out. When you look at Bitcoin versus Ethereum, Bitcoin had basically got to the April lows. Slightly higher, 80K. April lows was 74K. That's basically the same price. Okay? We basically backtested the same range. We basically backtested this as support is what happened. Okay? Why am I saying this? Look at the April lows for Ethereum and compare that. How much stronger Ethereum actually is comparatively. Again, Bitcoin basically went to the same price, to the same level. Not the same price. It basically went to the same level. From wick to wick, you're talking about an 8% difference. Look at Ethereum. You will not find a bigger Ethereum hater than me. 84% difference from wick to wick. It's way stronger than Bitcoin was. Way stronger. Why? Bitcoin went into price discovery. Ethereum has not. This is way stronger. SMR says already topped. Okay, when? Once it hits 5K, I'm out. I don't care. What's the realistic top? 8K. I hate it. Listen, you're not going to find a bigger Ethereum hater than me. You won't find a bigger Ethereum hater than me. You won't find one. But it's so much stronger than Bitcoin was back in April. Way stronger. Look at that. All this is just like people get so fixated on, but 2025 was supposed to be the year, and now it didn't happen, so crash it all to 99%. Like, do you know what causes violent bear markets is violent bull markets? You don't get one without the other. All that's really happened here is Ethereum put in a higher high and a higher low. That's it. Same setup that silver had. You will not find a bigger Ethereum hater than me. I cannot stand Ethereum. I can't stand Vitalik. I say again, you will not find a bigger Ethereum hater than me. That's the same setup, though. That's the same damn chart. Tom Lee Jr. over here. No, bro. Listen, it's personal with me. Do you think the Bitcoin bottom is in? I think that the selling climax is in. Could we get 75K? Yes. I think that the selling climax is in for Bitcoin, though. I've said that 100 times. I believe that this was the selling climax. November 20th. Look at the volume. When did we bottom? When did we bottom last time? Anybody know? How about November 22nd? November 21st? This to me was the selling climax. Right here. Could we get a secondary test? It could happen. Could we get a spring? That's possible. But this is the formation of a bottom, in my opinion. Here you go. This part is already in my opinion. We might get a secondary test. We might get a spring. But we're somewhere already in phase B, in my opinion. No, it's not. No. My hatred for Ethereum is personal. I'm not talking about the bet. All right, here's the story. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. In 2021, I was mining Ethereum. I had the largest mining operation in my entire city. You could not tell me nothing, bro. I was making $10,000 a month mining Ethereum. You could not tell me nothing, bro. Nothing, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing. And Vitalik, even in the bear market, I was still making $2,500 a month mining Ethereum. I did not feel the bear market for a second until Vitalik switched it from proof of work to proof of stake. And people want to talk about like, oh, should I stake my Ethereum for 5%? It's like, bro, I was making 50% in a month. No, like I will never forgive Vitalik for taking away my cush life, bro. It's personal. Happy New Year. Why Wyckoff didn't work in October? It did. I just didn't have a good read on it. This is distribution. I had the wrong read is what happened. And I was accountable for it. I shaved my face, cut my hair. Ski, will VeChain reach $1 in 2026? Is possible. I think 10 cents is more likely. Ski, not playing about Solnic. I'm not playing, bro. I am not playing. I'm going to buy every week until we make a new all-time high. Period. Period. I'm going to get... make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, by the way, because I'm going to be uploading over there. I'll do my daily market news and analysis videos over there. They'll probably be about 10 to 20-minute videos. We're going to start doing that Monday through Friday. Here's the schedule, by the way. Today I'm late, but the general schedule is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm going to be trading with the Telegram group live Monday through Friday. I'll be posting 3 to 5 shorts per day. I'm going to be posting 1 long form video on YouTube per day. And then we'll be doing a live stream in the afternoon. 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time is going to be the block, the window that I have where I will be live sometime in that time frame. Probably 4:30. But that block of window is going to be the normal time frame. Today I had to fix my, if you're in the Telegram, you already know, but I had to fix my wife's battery terminal because that thing was corroded. And her car is deadline, bro. It's not driving. So Happy New Year. 20 cents VeChain would be glorious. I think 20 cents is super plausible. Happy New Year. Save us. Looking on getting back into Link, can you give us your thoughts and analysis? I think Link's a good play. Link's in my kids' portfolio. I will say, you're the first person to ask me about Link in a while. I think that's a good sign. Man, Link looks strong, bro. Link looks very strong. This has just been on an uptrend, basically. If you take out the scam wick... What's the price looking like, though? Yeah, this has just been on an uptrend since August of 2024. Realistically, since the last bear market, this has been on an uptrend. Now, we got to make a new high. This is the same... My God, bro. Okay. Like, we don't care about the coins right now. Look at the structure. This is the same structure. Look at this. That is the same structure. Don't worry about what project is what. Look at this. Tell me that is not the same exact structure. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know. That is the same structure. That is the same damn structure. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know when. In fact, people were asking about silver. I said it could take a decade, but my target is $78. It did not take a decade. That's the same structure. That is the same structure. I don't know how long it's going to take. But I know structure. That's the same one. That's the same one. I think Link is a damn good play. Still bullish on Flux. I am still bullish on Flux. What are you buying? Solnick. VeChain. Flux. Bitcoin, HBAR. Solana. You could probably talk me into a couple other ones. I'm holding a lot of coins, but those are the ones I'm for sure buying. I forget what else I'm buying. ADA, I think, is a solid play here. ADA has the same damn structure, too. There's a lot of coins that have the same structure. It's just like, I don't know how long it's going to take, bro. God. ADA looks good as hell, too. I don't know how long it's going to take, but that is the silver structure. You know why? Because it's the Wyckoff structure. Was I anticipating this? No, I was not. That was a black swan. That's a proper black swan. That's what happened. That was a proper black swan. Do you get black swans back to back? No. Did we fill it out all the way? Yes. Maybe it's this. This is a black swan. March of 20. Maybe we're here. I'll buy that for $1. Maybe we're here. I'll buy that. You want to tell me that that's where we're at? Okay, I'll buy that. A nice rally to the 3-2. Back test the prior range. Accumulate, breakout. I'll buy that. What triggered this pump? 65 days. What triggered the pump? 65 days being in extreme fear. The longest in history. Nobody's bullish. Okay, bro, then go see what his foreskin tastes like. Bro, this isn't the right channel for you. V-Gold, get out of here then. Go ask him what his foreskin tastes like. This ain't the right channel for you then. Brandon's fave is ADA. Can you look at Toshi? How's your foreskin taste, bro? I got you. Where is the best chart for this one? I don't love this chart. I don't hate this chart. I feel pretty bleh about this chart. I just imagine it's going to do structurally what everything. I don't know anything about this coin, to be honest with you. I don't have a high conviction one way or the other about this chart. I don't know what the tokenomics are. Looks pretty good. So fully diluted supply. 1 million holders. They have one holder for almost every dollar that the coin is. That's a little sus. 1 million holders. I'm curious, like, how many holders does Dogecoin have? What about Shiba? $2.9 million holders. Okay, I guess that checks out. I think it has good tokenomics. I don't know. I don't feel any, like, there's not enough structure, to be honest. This isn't even a year old yet. I mean, technically it's a year old, but you just had one giant pump and then pretty much nothing after that. I haven't seen this thing go through a bear market is the issue. So it's hard to see, like, what does that actually look like for this coin? I don't know. I'm trying to evaluate this critically and fairly. Obviously you want to see this April low hold, which it's doing a lot of what the same of the rest of the market, like Ethereum, Bitcoin. It's doing the same sort of thing. Like, it's a higher low out of April. So, I mean, a retrace bounce would be to 0.0014. If we're going to go to price discovery, 0.003. Could I look at oil with Wyckoff? I know oil has been crashing. What is the ticker? Like, what's the best ticker for that? Oil futures? What is the best thing that I should look up for that? WTI oil. Okay. Crude oil. Okay, let me add this too. Let me, because I should have this on my other. Let me add this to. There we go. There's not a lot on this. Is there another? Is that the wrong one? WTI oil. Is there one with more history than that? Is it this one? Here we go. This is a little bit more history. What's the one that has the most history? Do you know? US oil. All right, I'm going to try to WTI oil. Is it this one right here? I'm gonna add a bunch of them. US dollar. Here we go. This is a lot of history. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is the one. That's the one right there. Let me add this. Nice. Okay. Beautiful. When is that? March of 20. That's crazy that even oil crashed like that. The height was 2008, July. March of 2022. Man. See, this tells me, like, March of 2022 was the height. $90. It's crazy how much more volatile it is than it used to be. This to me feels like distribution, because you have all of this trading over here. Now, the dollar wasn't a dollar back then. That's the issue with this. But this is technically accumulation over here. This is a markup, and then this is distribution. And likely we would probably fill this out at some point, this big wick. We've never tested this again. The same thing that's like, that happens with a lot of the altcoins as of recently. Like when you get a big giant spring, like the 1010 crash, we're seeing a lot of altcoins have filled that out. See, I would need to see the RSI. What is this on the weekly? I wish I had volume. There's no volume past. I'm gonna look at this more. I'm gonna put this. I've been meaning to put this on my radar. I'm gonna put this on my. Did you rug your coin on New Year's? I have not sold any coins. No. I've been buying Solnick nonstop. Anyways, I've been meaning to put this on my radar because this is something that I should be paying more attention to. But I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna get back to you on this 5-star stuff. I want to sit down and really like analyze this and see more correlations with oil and silver, oil and the Dow Jones oil and the Russell. I'm going to look to find some correlations there and really take a deep dive into this. But yeah, basically the same price. That's crazy how stable oil has been. And then it's gotten super volatile. That's insane. And that really shows you, really what that tells you. That's so crazy. You see how stable, basically since 1980 all the way until 2004, the price of oil has been basically the same. I mean, that's That's 25 years of being the exact same price, and then look how crazy and wacky it is. But what is that really? Like, is oil unstable now, or did they start money printing? Did they start quantitative easing in 2008? What really happened? Like, what was the correlation that we go from this super stable thing? Is oil not stable anymore? Is oil no longer stable? Is that what you guys are telling me? Is oil not stable anymore? What are they? Did they get a new kind of oil? Why does it look wacky like this now? Well, when did it go parabolic? 2008. When did money printing start? 2008. Quantitative easing. So is oil not stable now, or is the dollar not stable? It says, bro, in 2008, we were running out of oil. LOL. Sure, that's fine. Like, that's fine. I'll buy that for $1. But look at how stable this is over here. And look at how unstable it is now. Look, I don't buy that either, by the way. Running out of oil. I don't buy that for $1. I don't buy that. Like, that is propaganda. Call it fossil fuels. It's made from dinosaurs, bro. No, it's not. It's made from organic matter. Do you know what there's abundance of? Stuff that dies. Trees. Snakes. Cows. Stuff dies. There's nothing but organic matter everywhere. You're telling me we're running out of stuff that's dying? I don't buy that. I don't believe that. We're going to run out of fossil fuels. We're almost out of dinosaurs. Shut up. No, we're not. There's probably oil on my farm, bro. Like, I don't believe that. Sonic to 7 cents still. Yes, minimum. Listen, I'm going to do 5-star stuff. I am very curious about this, but I need to, like, really sit down and I'm going to look for patterns and correlations between oil, and I'm going to look at different things along that. So I owe you an answer on that, and I think that's a good topic, a good video. That's really interesting. Like, I'm very curious, but I don't think I'd be doing you guys justice just sitting here like, you know, I don't know the answer. So this looks like distribution to me. However, this looks like accumulation. This looks like parabolic rise into distribution. That's what I would classify it as. And this is like your big event that generally you're going to fill that out. That was what my intuition would tell me. However, I would like to see the correlation between silver and oil. I would like to see the correlation between Bitcoin and oil. The correlation between the DXY and oil. The correlation between bonds and oil, the correlation between the Dow Jones and oil, the correlation between the Russell and oil. I'm going to do a deep dive on that and try to see if there's something there. But that's interesting, just like, you know, looking at it at the surface level, it's like how stable it was for 25 years and then how crazy it's been. Like, we're out of organic matter, guys. We ran out. My port died. That should help. The Iraq War. Yeah. Sure. There's lots of factors, but we were in war during this time too. Really, this is the big one right here. Like, we went off the gold standard. That was the first big pump that you saw there. Kind of the same thing, really. Yeah, I need to do a deep dive on this and really sit down and look at some stuff on this because I'm curious and I don't have the answer right now. Where's my fractal? This almost looks... Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this. Anyways, what's the best stock? Gulf War in Kuwait happened. Yeah, there's always... The United States has been at war since 1776. The United States has been at war. There's 60 years since then. The United States has been at war for like 238 of them. Like, war is not new. Sure, people can have all kind of reasons. You're telling me there was no wars but in this whole time? That's what you're telling me? I don't buy that, bro. That's the dollar not being stable. That's what that is. You're telling me like oil's a new thing now? Like it's a new product? I don't believe you. Anyways, that's interesting. My curiosity, I'm very curious about this, but I don't think I'd be doing you guys a service of just like, you know, going through things like that. But that's going to be it for this time, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'll be live tomorrow, probably about 4:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll be live 9 a.m. Central Time for my group. And we'll be live trading probably some Ethereum. 9 a.m. Central Time. I'll be putting out my trades in the Telegram, and I'll be live streaming that. I'll have 3 to 5 shorts, probably doing Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and I'll probably do 2 others. So if you guys comment what you want me to do in my videos, and then if you see someone with that comment, just go ahead and like it. And if whatever gets the most likes, I'll do videos on those. But it'll probably be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP every day. And then I'll have one 10 to 20 minute market analysis video that's going to be long format on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe over there at your boy Ski. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a video. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.